I've always said that I was a brown thumb when it came to plants, but recently I've decided to turn over a new leaf, haha, pun intended. I have a beautiful potted geranium that I've actually managed to keep alive for 7 months. And recently I got these poinsettias and an orchid from, they were gifts, and some of them were left over from Christmas time at our church. And so I decided to make sort of a little conservatory here in our bathroom. It's nice and warm in here for the plants. I very much want to keep these plants alive and not overwater or underwater them as I've done in the past. And so when RainPoint reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to try their new solar irrigation system for indoor houseplants, I said, that sounds great. Immediately I thought this might be the thing that finally launches me into being somebody who has houseplants, because you set it up once and then you can pretty much forget about watering your plants. As long as you keep the water reservoir full, it'll water your plants for you on a schedule, so you could look up and see how often poinsettias need to be watered and then set that up in the app accordingly. Set it and forget it, as they say. I'm going to show you how it works. And if you're interested, they've sent me an exclusive discount code for my viewers. It's Kathleen20 for 20% off a solar irrigation system of your own. We'll link that down below. And now, without further ado, let me show you how to set up this system and get it working for plants. First, I had to download the HomGar app. It's HomGar, and you can find it in the App Store or on Android, I guess, in the Google Play Store. And I created an account with my email address and password once the app was downloaded. And then I was in the app and I set my time zone. I'm in the Eastern time zone. And then it asked me if I wanted to set up a location for my home. So I said, sure. And I called it the bathroom conservatory, because that is where I'm going to try this out first, is all the plants in my bathroom. And then I had to add a hub first. So the RainPoint came with a mini hub, which just connects your Wi-Fi router. It helps connect it to the actual irrigation system. So they walk you through it in the directions. You just have to push a couple buttons and plug in this little mini router. They include a cable to plug it in, and you set up you pair the mini hub, then you're ready to pair your irrigation device. So the mini hub connects to the irrigation device. There it is connecting. And once it finds it, it'll say that you added the device successfully. They have a lot of different systems. Mine happens to be this water irrigation system. So if you ever end up using more than one RainPoint system, you can connect them all through this app. And then it asks you to set up your irrigation plan. So I did a little research on the kind of plants I have in the bathroom, and I decided to water them every 2 days for about 30 seconds, just based on that's what I think is going to work based on their watering needs. But of course, I'll keep an eye on it and make sure that that's right. And I can always adjust it in the app. You can set the days, you can set the time that you want to water. If you don't want to put it on a plan, you can also just set it to manual. And then when you feel like watering your plants, you can just go in and push a button on the irrigation system and it'll water them right there. But at least then you don't have to water each plant individually. It waters them all at once just with the push of a button, which is pretty cool. But I opted to set up a plan because both my geraniums and my poinsettias need to be watered about every 3 days. One thing you are going to need is a bucket, and I decided to use this copper ice bucket because it looks pretty in the bathroom. If you have a way to hide your bucket, it probably doesn't matter if it looks pretty or not, but this is going to sit right on my windowsill and just kind of become part of the decor. So I set it on the windowsill right there near my plants, and then I put the solar powered irrigation system. It just hooks right onto the side, and it does have a battery and you can charge it. It comes with a cable if you need to charge it electrically, but if you have enough sunlight, it'll just keep charging with the solar panel. This is the tubing. So first you put in there's an inlet and an outlet tubing. It comes with a big long coil of black tubing, more than enough for your needs. You'll end up with a lot of extra. So my son helped me with this part so I could film. So we put in the inlet tubing, and then there's a little water filter that comes in the package, and that goes on the end of your inlet tubing. And you set that right down into your bucket of water. So you take a pair of scissors once you figure out how long your little tube needs to be to reach from the machine into the bucket, and then you just snip it with the scissors, and you attach the water filter that's included to the end, and then you just set it down in the water, and that's how it's going to pull water in. That's what it looks like once it's all set up. Then the next part is to connect this other valve to the outlet part. So we hook up this little piece of plastic, and then we put the other end on the outlet part of the actual solar powered irrigator. From this white end part, you're just going to connect more and more tubing to get to all of your plants, and they include 3 different types of connectors. There's one for 3, one that just has 2 tips, and one that has 4. So you just measure how long the tubing needs to be to reach your plant, and then you cut it right there. And then you take that end of the tubing to one of these T-bars, they call them. So here it is connected up to the T-bar, and you connect it, and it's pretty easy to just push it in there. We were trying to get it in as tight as we could, but it's not hard at all. We connected it to the 4-prong one because we are going to send the rest of the tubing in a lot of different directions. On the end of each of those little T-bar things, you're going to put a short length of hose. So you just cut really short lengths of hose and connect those to each of the ends. Once you have all those short lengths connected, then you can put on the actual watering tips, and those get sunk deep into the soil of your plant. You loosen the soil a little bit with your fingers, and then sink this watering irrigation tip deep into the soil. I love that it goes in so deep so it can really get down towards the roots. And we decided to put 2 irrigation tips in each of my pots because each one of these poinsettia pots has 3 plants. So we thought 2 would be good, one on either side of the pot to get it nice and watered on irrigation days. It is all set up. So that's our first plant down, and I'm actually going to connect this system onto 3 more plants. When you're done putting the irrigation things into all of your plants, you take this last little plastic end cap piece and you close off your tubing system so none of the water drips out all over the place. There's enough tubing and plastic T-bars to water 10 different houseplants. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm watering 4 pots of houseplants here, but you could keep going and do 10 if you so desired. And then you can either push the button here like I do there to just start watering, or you can set it up on the app and it'll just do it automatically for you every day or every other day or whatever schedule you decide is best for your plants. Here it is all set up. That I can set it up on my app and hopefully never mess up watering the plants again, because I can just look up the optimum watering for these kind of plants and then set up the plan in the app. And the only thing I have to remember is to keep that reservoir bucket full. So even if we're out of town, it'll just water itself as long as I have the bucket full ahead of time. And more likely than we'll be out of town is that I will just completely forget to water my houseplants because I get so busy teaching my kids and doing all the things. I think it's going to be a great addition and a great development as I try to become a houseplant lady this year. RainPoint also sent me an outdoor humidity sensor, which also it requires 2 AA batteries, which I just put in, and it also connects up to the app. And here you can see both my devices are connected, my irrigator and my humidity sensor, and I'm just going to go and set it up there on the windowsill. If you're interested in trying the solar irrigation system, I have an exclusive discount code for my viewers. It's Kathleen20. I will link it in the description box below for your RainPoint irrigation system. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.